Okay, good evening, everyone. So welcome back to the session. Okay, so I think we can start now. In last class, we have seen the demo of DevOps, like what is DevOps and why we need to use it, right? Fine. In today's class, I'm going to teach you about the architecture. If you remember in the last class of demo session, I said you one thing. If it comes to the roles and responsibility of a DevOps engineer, what is the responsibility of the number one, sir, here? I mean, like, what is the number one position for the responsibility here? If we go and see, I'll show you this one here. When I go for the roles and responsibilities here, like here you can see it. This one is not. Here. Here you can see it. The first responsibility of a DevOps engineer is to understand and to create the architecture. How many architectures we have here? Cloud, server, and network. In today's class, I'm going to tell you the complete architecture. It's going to be very, very easy to understand. And if you understand the architecture, the real-time work will be very, very easy. Lot of people, when they go for the interview, they don't have proper knowledge or they don't have proper idea about the architectures. That is the reason why they are not able to answer the questions in interview. But here, starting on the course only, I'm just telling you how to exactly configure the architecture and how to build the architecture. So let's go to the practical part now. I mean, before practical, always we go for theoretical part. So let me explain you. For example, if you take any of the application, so I'll go here for application called Book My Show. Which one? If you open the application here, you can be able to see the application, correct or not, sir? And after seeing the application, if I want to book the movie for like ticket for this movie, I can go and I can book the tickets, correct or not? Now here, my question is you are using the application, but what is happening behind the scenes? Do you know like what exactly happening behind the scenes? No. But in today's class, we are going to understand what exactly happening behind the scenes of server. Okay. The entire concept, what exactly we're going to define in today's session is going to be software architecture. What is the name of the concept? So let's start the session now. So from here, I'm starting it now. So guys, the class will be like very, very interesting today. So see now. Name of the class, I mean like concept will be software architecture. So first of all, here for my question is what is the meaning of software architecture? So you can call it as C. For example, if you want to construct the building, first of all, what you do? You will create the architecture. Based upon that architecture only, we are going to construct the software or not, sir? Yes. Here also, this software architecture is nothing but blueprint of the application flow, or you can call it as application workflow. Application workflow. That means how exactly you need to work with your application is going to define on the software architecture part only. Now coming to the types of architectures, basically we have four types of architectures, sir. First one is one-tier architecture. Second one will be two-tier architecture. And the third one will be three-tier. And fourth one will be N-tier. Okay. So now tell me, how many type of architectures do we have here? First one will be one-tier. Second one will be two-tier. Third one will be three-tier. And fourth one will be here N-tier. So these will be the total number of architectures, what exactly we have in the market. Okay. If you want to create any kind of application, that can be any kind of application, you need to select any one of these architecture. Okay, fine. Okay, sir, you are telling about the one-tier architecture, two-tier, three-tier, and N-tier. But here my question is, what is the meaning of tier? That's what you need to understand. What is the meaning of tier? So I'm writing it here very, very clearly. A tier can also be called as layer, or you can call it as server. A tier can also be called as layer, or even you can call it as server. Okay. So now you can tell me, a tier can also be called as a layer, or even though you can call it as a server. That means by this below clarification, what you can call means one tier can also be called as one server architecture. Two tier can also be called as two server architecture. Three tier can also be called as and four and n tier and server architecture. So this is the first clarity you need to have. Remember, if you take any example, Swiggy, Zomato, Uber, or YouTube or Netflix, any one of the application, it doesn't matter what kind of application it is. All the application need to select one architecture. Without having the architecture, we cannot create any kind of application. Fine, then now here, if you go and see, I'm going to tell you this one. Sir, you said about tier means layer, or we can call it as server. But here my question is, what is the meaning of server? This is the question you need to have. I think all of you know or heard about the server. But what exactly the meaning of server? Server is to store the data. Okay, then still to share the data. Okay, then to serve the services. Correct. Okay. Yeah. So server main purpose is to serve the services to end user. Here, who is the end user? We are the end user, or you can call it as client also. Okay. For example, see what I'm gonna tell you is, let's take the application. I'm gonna take the book my show application. Is it serving me the service or not, sir? Can I able to book the movie tickets here? Yes. Or if I want to go for like movies, I can book movie tickets. No, sir. If I want to go for sports, we can open here sports and can you book the tickets or not, sir? So movie ticket is a service, sports ticket is one of the service, and you have something called as activities and events also. You can book any of the ticket. Okay. The major agenda of any server is to serve the services. Okay. So this is the clarity you need to have. Again, one more time. So what is a software architecture? It is a blueprint of our application workflow. How many type of software architectures we do have, sir? Four. What are those? One tier, two tier, three tier, and fourth one will be a tier can also be called as layer, or you can call it as. Then what is the meaning of server here? Server is to serve the services to the. Is the point clear for all of you till now? Online, can you please confirm? Is the concept clear for all of you or not till now? Yep, clear. Okay, sir. Now you said about the server means to serve the end user. But my question is, how many type of servers we require to create any kind of application? There will be three major servers. It doesn't matter any server, yeah, any application. Every application need to have at least how many servers? Three. First one will be called as web server. Which one? Second one will be called as app server. And third one is ultimately DB server. Okay. So first server will be web server. Second server will be app server. Third one will be DB server. Or in another way, you can call them as web server can also be called as presentation layer. Which layer? Presentation layer. And app server, you can call it as business or logic layer. And DB server can be called as data server. Okay. Anything like that. So web server is called as presentation layer. App server can be called as business or logic layer. And DB server can be called as data server or database server. You can call it as anyway. Like this. Without having these three servers, you cannot create any application. For example, now in front of your screen, which application is there? This book my show will have 3. For example, if I open the application called Swiggy, do you have 3 here? Does Swiggy required 3 servers to run the application or not? Currently, you are listening the classes by using which application? Zoom application. Does Zoom required 3 servers or not, sir? Yes, it doesn't matter what kind of application you are using. Each and every application must and should need to have how many servers here? 3. What are those again? Web server, app server, database server. Web server can also be called as presentation layer, and app server can also be called as business or logic layer. And third one, the DB server can also be called as data server. Fine then. Now if I go and see, let's explore about each and every server in depth. Okay, so first of all, here I'm going to teach you something called as web server. Okay, what I'm going to teach you about now? Web server. So I'll be taking the live example for you. Guys, you can take any of the example here. Let me go with this one. For example, all of you know Book My Show application, right? Tell me what is the purpose of using Book My Show application? To book the movie tickets. So here I'm typing Book My Show. Now if I see this one, if I click on this link, am I able to see the Book My Show application or not, sir? First point is very, very clear. Whenever if I type something on the browser, I'm able to see the application. How I'm able to see the application means with the help of web server. Which one? The main agenda of the web server is to show the application. In a simple words, web server, it can also be called as, it's called as, which layer, sir? Presentation layer. Okay, like I'm writing it on short and sweet format, called as, which layer? Presentation layer. What is the main purpose? To show the application. To show the application. Okay, again, one more time. Server is to serve the services to the end user. How many servers we require for real time for any of our application? 3. One more thing is, first of all of you close your notes. Why? Because you need not to write the notes. I'm gonna give these notes for you. At the end of the day, I'll give some time. Take the pictures of them and again you can write separately. Why? Because if I'm telling, if you're writing, you might miss something. Okay, fine. So server is to serve the services to the end user. All of us know. Okay. So what is the first example we need to have here? Web server. This is called as presentation layer. Second one, app server. This is called as business, or you can call as logic layer. Third one will be DB server. This is called as data server. Sir, the web server can also be called as presentation layer. How you can call means, see, I am opening the application called Book My Show here. Here, for example, I am taking Book My Show, but you can take remaining things also. Look. So click on this one. After that, if I want to book any of the movie ticket, for example, I want to book the ticket for Manjumal Boys here. I click on this one. First of all, before I open this one, am I able to see the application or not, sir? So if we go and see, it is called as presentation layer, and the main purpose of this layer is to show the application. Fine. But here now my question is, sir, in real time, who will work on this layer? See, if I have to create an application means single person cannot create the entire application. That need to be have lot of teams and lot of people involved. So in real time, who will work means here, we have a team called UI UX team. You know UI UX team here? You can call them as front-end developers in shortcut. Which one? Front-end developers. Front-end developers. These people will work on the layer. Okay. So the purpose is to show the application. Now, if I want to show the application, my UI UX team, that is also called as front-end developers, will work on these layers. Okay, sir, you are telling about front-end developers, but what the front-end developers are going to use for this one? Front-end developers use something called as web technologies. What they will use? Web technologies. Have you ever heard about web technologies? Example, like what I can say for web technologies is HTML, CSS, JavaScript. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay. So this is short and sweet information about your web server. Again, I'm telling what is the first server we require to create the application? Web server. So web server can also be called as presentation layer. What is the purpose? To show the application. In real time, who will work here, sir? Front-end developers, or you can call them as UI UX developers also. What they will use? Web technologies. What are the example for it? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay. Now, in interview, if somebody asks you what is web server, tell them web server is to show the application. You can call it as presentation layer. The main agenda is to show the application. Here, who will work in the real time, sir? UI UX developers. That's it. Now, in order to make this more clear for you, what exactly I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw the diagram for your even better clarity. So now look into the screen here. How many servers you want there? Basically, 3. It is my server number 1. I'm going to copy them. Server number 2 and server number 3. Okay. So what is the name of the first server, sir? Web server. So let me add the points here one by one. So my first server name is called as, it is also called as here AK. AK means also known as. It is also known as presentation layer. Okay. Next. So here, after that, what is the purpose? Purpose is to show the application. To show the application. Here, who will work in real time, sir? UI, UX. We can call them simply as front-end. Front-end developers. What they will use? They will use web technologies. What are the examples of web technologies here? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Sir, if you want to, if somebody asks you what is the example of web server, you said about the example of web technologies. What is the example of web server? Apache. Have you ever heard about the word Apache? It's not bike man. Okay. So Apache is a web server example. So example I can call as Apache. Simply HTTPD. Which one here? Without HTTPD, you cannot able to see the application. See, for example, if you are seeing the application means in that server HTTPD is running. If HTTPD is not running, you cannot able to see the server. So this is the short and sweet information about the web server. All you need to know. Okay, fine, sir. Now here, before going for the application server, is the point of web server clear for all of you? Everybody. Online, can you please confirm, is the concept of web server clear for all of you or not? You can ping on the comment section, guys. That is the Apache. Name of the Apache is HTTPD. Okay. No, HTTP is protocol. HTTPD is the Apache name. Okay. Fine. Yes, HTTPD. You can see it here. So here I'm writing. So example of like web server is going to be HTTPD. Okay. It's a web server example, or I can write on the top. Wait. Web server example is HTTPD. Next, what is the second server we're going to learn here? App server. Now, my question is, sir, what is the purpose of opening the Book My Show application? To see the application or to book the tickets? To book the application or to book the tickets. Okay. So now if you go and see in the diagram, I mean like in the presentation here, I can only able to see the movies information only. That means I can see the application, but my purpose is to book the movie tickets. That means I want to use the application. What I want to use now? Web server is to show the application. But if I want to use the application, I need to go to the application server. If I click on this, now can I able to book the movie tickets or not, sir? How this is performing means from the web server, we gone to the application server. Which server we gone to? So if you want me to break it down simply, so this app server also known as, you can call it as business layer or logic layer. Business or Logic layer. Why? Because in real time, entire application code will be deployed on the application server only. And what is the purpose? Purpose is to use the application. To use the application. Sir, this web server purpose is to show the application, but app server purpose is to, you can see it very clearly. Am I able to book the movie tickets or not, sir? If I am booking the movie ticket, means I am able to use the application. Okay. Now, in real time, who will work here? I have a team called backend team. Who will work here? You can call them as developers also, backend developers. Backend developers. Sir, what they will use, sir? They will use something called as programming languages. What they will use? Programming languages. I think like all of you know about programming language, right? So, programming languages. What are the examples of programming languages? You know, Java, Python, Java, Python, C will be there, C++ will be there, and you have something called as .NET. Okay, everything will come center for it. So this is the information about the application server. Again, application server also known as business layer or logic layer. What is the main purpose? To use the application. Who will work in real time? Backend developers will work on this server. And what they will use, sir? Programming languages. What are the example of programming languages? Java, Python, C, C++, and .NET. So if somebody asks you what is the example of application server, you need to tell us Tomcat. Which one? Tomcat. So a lot of people will confuse here. Apache is the example for web server and Tomcat is the example for application server. Is the point clear for all of you? Again, the same data I'm going to write on the diagram also. Now let me go for this one. What is the second server here we are going to discuss about now? App server. Okay. App server also known as business or logic. Okay. You can call it as business layer or even you have to call it as logic layer. What is the main purpose? To use the application. In real time, who is going to work here, sir? Backend developers. Backend developers. Okay. What they will use here? Programming languages. What are the example of programming languages we have? Java, Python, .NET, C, and so on. Okay. What is the example of application server here? Tomcat. I need to write this one. I'll write it here or like anywhere I can write. So here I'm going to write example as Tomcat. That's it. So again, one more time, I'm going to explain. So application server also known as business or logic layer. What is the purpose of using this one? To use the application. In real time, who is going to work here, sir? Backend developers. What they will use? Programming languages. Example of programming languages. Java, Python, .NET, C. What is the example we are having here? Tomcat. Remember, example for web server is Apache and example for app server will be Tomcat. So is the web server and app server clear for all of you know? Online, can you please confirm is the web server and app server clear for all of you or not? Yeah, great, fine. And one more thing, instead of Apache, we can use Nginx also. Remember, we have some n number of alternatives, but I'm gonna tell one alternative as of now. Why? Because if I tell all the alternatives, you'll be get confused. Okay, we have Nginx, we have JBoss, we have WebSphere, we have IIS. These all will be the alternative for the Tomcat. Okay, but as of now, to make it very easy, I'm just telling you one example for one server. Fine. But I always heard Apache and yes, Tomcat is the product of the Apache only, Sachin. You can call it as Apache Tomcat. Okay, Apache is the company's name, which is giving the Tomcat for us. Hope it is clear. Now, what is the next server here we are going to discuss now? DB server. So I'm going to tell you DB server. What is the example of database server? The best example I can say is MySQL. Of course, like apart from MySQL, you can use Oracle, you can use Postgres, you can use MariaDB, you can use Percona. Okay, some any number of databases we have, but the famous one in the software is going to be almost MySQL. So this DB server, also known as what we can call it as data server, or you can call it as database server. Okay, what is the purpose of using this server? That is completely wrong actually. To store and retrieve. To store and retrieve data. For example, you store the data. For what purpose you are storing the data? In future, if you want to see the data, how can you do? By using retrieving only, right? A lot of people will think DB is to store the data. It's not only for storing the data. It is for retrieving also. What is the meaning of retrieving? To get back. Okay. If you are storing the data, but if you cannot get back, what is the purpose of storing data now? Do you have any use? No. So in real time, who is going to work here, sir? In this server, who will work in real time? DBA or DBD. DBA is nothing but database administrator and DBD stand for database developers. Okay, these people will work on this layer or in this server. And what they will use, sir? They will use database languages. Simply I can call as DB languages. What are the example of DB languages? Can anyone tell me? MySQL will be there. Or you have MS SQL will be there. And we have Postgres. We have ARNGODB. And we have something called as Oracle. Okay. Like that. It's not Mango, it's MongoDB actually. Okay. Like this. So this is the example of database, sir. Again, one more time. Database is also known as like a DB server or data server. Purpose is to store and retrieve the data. In real time, who will work here? Database administrator or database developers. What they're going to use? Database languages. Can anyone like tell me what are the example of DB languages we have in the market? Examples. MySQL will be there, MS SQL will be there, Postgres, Arango, Oracle. So this all will be coming for the database examples only. So now let me furnish the same data here itself. So last one will be DB server. So it is also known as data server. Next, it is to store and retrieve and who will work here? Database admins or database developers. What they will use? DB languages. Example, MySQL, MS SQL, Postgres, and so on. Okay. What is the example best we can use for it? MySQL. So this is the information of the 3D architecture. Okay. So now if you go and see whatever the data I have written in the notes, the same data you can see on the diagram also. Okay. So now let's recap all of these three servers one more time and next go for the concepts of architecture. So I'm going to recap everything from the scratch. Why? Because some people might miss the previous part. Okay. Don't worry. I'm going to recap it now. So first of all, I started the class with explaining of software architecture. What is the software architecture? Blueprint of the application workflow. That means it will decide how our application will work. Okay. Coming to the type of architectures, how many architectures do we have, sir? 4. What are those? 1 tier, 2 tier, 3 tier, and N tier. A tier can also be called as layer or server. What is the meaning of server? Server is to serve the services to the. About the server, we are going to discuss a lot of things in tomorrow's session. I'm just touching this point, okay? But in tomorrow's class, I'm gonna go for the complete in-depth information about server. But for the architecture, I'm just giving the definition only. So if I want to create any kind of application, how many minimum servers are required? 3. What are those? Web server, app server, and DB server. Web server can also be called as presentation layer. Correct or not, sir? Yes. What is the purpose of using this server? To show the application. In real time, who will work here? UI UX developers, or you can call them as front-end developers. What they will use? Web technologies. Example, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. What is the example of web server? Apache. And coming to the application server, for example, if I show it on lively, see, let me open the book my show. Right, book my show. See, currently, now tell me, currently I'm on which layer? Presentation layer. How can you tell? Because I'm just seeing the application, right? But I'm not using. If I want to use the application, I need to go to how I can go to App Store by providing the input. If you give mouse click or if you go to search box, if you provide any input, based upon that input only, will migrate from web server to app. Now I click on this one. Currently, I'm able to book the tickets now. That means I'm seeing the application or using the application. Using the application. With the help of which server you can use the application? App. Now discuss about the application server. Application server can also be called as business server. Here you have the complete code in this server. For example, if developer write the code, the entire code will be deployed on this server only. What is the main purpose? To use the application. Who will work here? Backend developers. What they will use? Programming languages. Example will be Java, Python, C, C++, and .NET like that. And now currently, if I book the movie tickets like this, what exactly will happen? I am going to enter some data. I am going to enter some data. Where the data is going to store, sir? Database. See, for example, like I'm gonna add this one and click on proceed. You can see it very, very clearly. It is gonna ask me the name and email address, everything. For example, if I enter some email address and if I enter some random number, if I click on make payment, everything will be storing on the server of BookMyShow. So how it is gonna be stored means with the help of DB server. Which server? Now, if I talk about DB server can also be called as data server. The purpose is to store and retrieve the data. Who will work in real time here? Database admins or database developers. What they exactly use? DB languages. Example will be MySQL, MSSQL, Postgres, ArongoDB, and Oracle, so on. What is the best example for database server? MySQL. Guys, if you use any kind of application, the same workflow will be happen and the same servers you can see. Now, have you got the complete information about servers? Everybody. Online, can you please confirm is the concept of these three servers clear for all of you or not? Can you ping me on comment section? Fine. So it was clear for all of you. That was great. Okay. Okay, sir. Now you said about the theoretical partner, but here my question is, what is the concept for today's class, sir? Architecture. But what we are discussing now? Servers. Why I'm discussing about servers? Because each architecture will have these three servers. It doesn't matter if you take 1 tier, you have these three servers. If you take 2 tier, again you have these three servers. If you take 3 tier, again you have the, even in N tier also you'll be having the same servers. That means without understanding the concept of servers or layers, you cannot construct an architecture. Is my logic clear now? Fine. So now I'm going to teach you about the part of architecture. So see, what is the first architecture I said for you? It is 1 tier architecture. Which one, guys? 1 tier. Already here you can see it very, very clearly. The first architecture will be going to always 1 tier only. So now see, this architecture will be very, very easy. By using 1 tier architecture, we can create the applications called standalone applications. Have you ever heard about the word called standalone application? I think Java people know about this one. Standalone. What is the meaning of standalone application? Correct. Exactly correct. See, stand-alone means if you develop a application, that application will be working on single laptop only. Wherever you develop, there only the application will work. Okay. So in the one-tier architecture, what happened? All the layers, your web server, your application server, your database server will be on same laptop. Okay. So let me show you. So here I'm writing the things for in the one-tier architecture, all three layers will be on local. Local means on our local laptop only. Here, the application will work on our laptop. Other people cannot able to use it. Other people cannot able to use it. Now tell me one thing, sir, what is the purpose of creating the application? To distribute to users. Correct or not, sir? See, I create the application called Instagram. I want to give it to my clients or users, but I am the person only using the application. Then what is the benefit of creating that application? No use. So if you want to create an application that need to work on your laptop and only you need to use. So in that case, we can use the architecture called one-tier architecture. If you ask me the best example for one-tier architecture, you have something called as VLC media player. Have you ever heard about VLC media player? And one more parameter about this architecture is this kind of application doesn't require internet connection. Why? Because all the layers called web, app, and database will be presenting on your local only. So external internet communication will not be required for this application. So I'm writing here, it doesn't require internet connection. Which connection? Example will be VLC. Don't worry, I'll do it practically also. So VLC is the best example for the standalone application. How means? Tell me one thing. What is the first point I said here? All three layers will be on local. Here, local is nothing but my laptop only. You can call it as local mission or you can call it as local laptop. Anything fine. If I open here VLC, sir, how many layers we do have? What is the first layer? The moment if I double click on this, the first layer will be presentation layer or web server. What is the purpose of presentation layer? Show the application. Am I able to see the application or not, sir? That means layer number 1 is here. What is the layer number 2? App server, or you can call it as business or logic layer. What is the purpose of that application server? To use. If I click on media, if I click on open file, can I able to use the application? That means my layer number 2 is here or not, sir? Now what is the third layer? DB server, that is to retrieve and store the data. Currently, am I able to retrieve the data from my local laptop or not, sir? Now if I click on open, now it is playing the video as it is. Is it playing the video or not, sir? That means in the VLC media player only, you can see the application, you can use the application, you can retrieve the data from the application also. That means all the three is presenting on your local or not, sir? Yes. And this application will be working on my local laptop. See, if you want to use the same application, you cannot use from your laptop. Why? Because this is on my laptop only. If you want to use it, you need to take my laptop, then only you can able to use it. And third one, it doesn't require internet connection. Have I used internet to play that video? No. So this is what exactly we can call as one-tier architecture. With the help of one-tier architecture, what kind of applications can we deliver? Standalone applications. Which applications? Standalone application means this application will work on the local laptop only. What is the best example? VLC media player. Is the standalone clear for all of you, sir? One-tier architecture. But now my question is, can we go for one-tier architecture? No. Why? Because the main intention of creating the application is to go for the users. But here, am I giving the application to user? No, I am using the application for myself. So we will not use this kind of architectures to design the applications. For that purpose, we can go for the one more architecture called two-tier architecture. What is your second architecture here? Two-tier architecture. So this two-tier architecture will be used to create the applications called client-server applications. Which applications? So have you ever heard about client-server applications? Anyone of you? Client-server? No? Okay. I'll make it very easy for you to understand. See, first of all, like let me mark them in a easiest way. I'm gonna take these colors here. First of all, I'm gonna mark them like this. Let me take this one. Yep. Web server and app server in. Okay, correct only. Like let me explain. So one tier architecture, I am just representing with the help of this blue color. Why? Because all of them are single place only. Okay. So if you come to the two-tier architecture, in two-tier architecture, your web server and app server will be on your local laptop, but database server on internet. Okay. Here I'm writing it very clearly. Web and app will be on our local, and database will be on internet. Okay. So if you want to work this kind of applications here, it definitely require the internet connection. We definitely require the internet connection. Now you can ask me, sir, what is the example for this kind of applications? I'll tell about one thing. Just listen it very carefully. Have you ever gone to bank? Bank. What is the most frequent thing you listen from the bank employees? Correct. Or it is? First one will be server down. Second one will be it's our lunch time. Come later. Correct or not, sir? Now see basically what exactly will happen, client server means the application will be downloaded to the local laptop. That means you can see the application from the laptop and you can use the application from the laptop. But if you want to take the data or if you want to store the data, you need to connect to the internet. You need to connect to the. And remember, these kind of applications will not be installed on all the laptops. Only the people who is working on the banks, only on some systems, they will install the application. Just go to the bank and just ask them to show the application. Okay, if you try to install the same application on your laptop, is it gonna work? No. So these kind of applications, we can call it as client server application. Which application? So now I'll tell you how it will work. For example, see, now I'm seeing the application here. Let me draw this one. Here I have two things. Okay, here, for example, I'm the user. I can see the application. I can use the application. But for example, I want to see the customer data. I want to get the customer data. Web server, app server don't do anything. Why? Because that is to show the application and use the application. Customer data need to be get from the database server. Is database presenting on your local now? No. Why? Because we are using client server. For client server, database is going to present on where, sir? Internet. That means definitely you need to connect to internet. From the internet only, now you can get the customer data. For example, CID, like customer ID is 01. So username, I can call it as Raham. Okay. So account, I'm gonna take like some random numbers. So like this, am I able to get the data from here? Okay. So in this way, if I request database server will show me the data. In the same way, if I want to store the data also, I need to send the data to the database server. So these kind of applications is called as what kind of applications here? Client server application. Which one, sir? And remember, a lot of people will confuse here. I'm not talking about net banking. Net banking is something different. Bank applications are something different. Okay. So with the help of the client server, like with the help of two-tier architecture, we can create the client server applications. Which one? In client server application, web and application will be on local laptop and database will be on. So if I want to work with this kind of application, definitely here internet connection is must. But for one tier, do we require internet connection? No. So example, I can take it as banking apps. Which one? Banking apps. One more example also I can tell. Do you know Geo 7? Geo 7. For example, in your mobile, I think how many of you are having Geo 7 here? Mostly everyone, right? I'll ask you something. If you open your mobile, can you able to see the Geo 7? No, na. Hey man, if you open the mobile, you can see it, right? You can see it and you can search the song also. But if you want to play that song, you need to have internet connection or not, sir? Without internet connection, can you use the application? Not possible, right? So this is also one of the kind of example I can say. Okay, client server application. So is the client server application clear for all of you? No? Online, what about you? Is the client server clear for all of you? YouTube, like I'll tell you about YouTube, don't worry, okay? It was clear, fine. So here next, sir, what exactly I'm trying to tell is, I'm trying to tell you one thing. See, if I use two tier, is it a good thing or not? Is it a good thing or not? It's a good architecture or not? Better than first, but not completely best, I can say. Why? Because see, in the two tier architecture, you need to download the application to local. You need to definitely download the application to the local. When you download the application to local, is it consuming some space or not, sir? Definitely it will take 1 GB or 2 GB of data, I mean like a storage from our local device. In order to overcome these kind of things, we introduce the new architecture called 3-tier architecture. Which one, sir? 3-tier architecture. What exactly this 3-tier architecture will do, you know? Okay. This kind of architecture will be used to create the applications called web applications. Which one? Web application means application need not to use from your local application. You can use it from internet also. Let's take Geo7 example. In two-tier architecture, okay, I create the Geo7 example. For example, let's take, okay, I'll take the same example for 1-tier, 2-tier, and 3-tier. Why? Because to give you more clarity. Let's take Geo7 is the common example for all of these three architecture. If I take Geo7 for 1-tier, application need to be local, song need to be local, and presentation layer also need to be on local. For example, if I want to play any additional song, can I play? No. First of all, I need to download the song to local, then only I can able to play. But if I implement the Geo7 and 2-tier architecture, can I connect to the internet now? Even though if I connect to the internet, my application still need to be on local. Again, it is consuming the space or not, sir? But if I implement the same Geo7 in the 3-tier architecture, without downloading the application to my local, I can use from internet. The best example is here in a 3-tier architecture. Application need not to install. We can use any app from the internet. All you need to have is internet. All you need to have is, if you have internet, you can use any application from anywhere. Okay, like whatever it can be. It's not about net banking. Any application. If you don't want to install to local, if you want to use it from application, if you want to use any kind of application from internet, so in that case, 3-tier architecture will be the best. In the modern era, 99% of the applications, what exactly we are using now, it's completely 3-tier architecture only. Okay. So example here, coming to the example, what I can say is, example is all the apps, whatever you're seeing. Let's take YouTube. Can I use YouTube from my internet? Facebook, can I use it? Swiggy, can I use it? Zomato, LinkedIn, every application, what exactly you are using on these modern days will be accessed from the internet only. So the best example for 3-tier architecture I can say is all the applications what exactly we are using now. And with the help of 3-tier architecture, what kind of applications can we create? Web applications. Okay. And the best advantage of using the web application is application need not to install on the local. You can use application from the internet itself. So in order to make this one visualize, so what exactly I'm going to do is, I'm going to take some second color. So I'm going to represent this one. Give me a second. So in the applications, in the second architecture, both my web and app will be on one place and database will be on another place. I'm representing with the help of the colors. Okay. And third layer, I'm going to take with some separate color. Let's take it from black. Okay. In the third layer, application server as well as web server as well as database server, all these three will be on different. Okay. So these 3 layers will be separate. In the 1-tier architecture, all 3 layers will be on Local, but here all the three layers will be not on local. Every layer will be on internet only. All you need to have is laptop. If you have a laptop, you can access from anywhere. Okay, and again, in the one tier architecture, two tier architecture, if you want to use the application, do we definitely require our own laptop or not, sir? Why? Because in the one tier and two tier, application will be on your local. That means definitely if you want to use it, you need to have the laptop with you. But in the three tier architecture, if I don't have laptop also, can I use it from my mobile phone? Can we use it from the tab? Now, which one is beneficial? Three tier. So in the modern world, everybody is completely creating the three tier architecture. And whatever the applications that you are using all these days will be the three tier architecture only. So now tell me one thing, is the concept of three tier architecture, two tier and one tier clear for all of you guys? Have you got the complete clarity now? Online, can you please confirm, is the concept of architectures clear for all of you or not? If it is clear, I am going to show you one practical demo also. Okay. But first of all, if the theoretical part is clear, definitely I'm going to show you the practical demo. In the practical demo, whatever I said theoretically, you can correlate for it. Okay. Fine. Okay, sir. Now the theoretical stuff is done. Of course, everybody will teach theoretically, but now I'm going to teach you the practical way. But for the practical way, I exactly need to tell you one thing. Basically, you don't know what is the server. I'll just create server on my AWS account. And in the next class, I'm going to show you how to create your own server. But as of now, don't worry about the process. Why? Because you don't know what is the meaning of server. Just give me 1 second to create the server. I'll just create an EC2 instance. And in the AWS account, you can create your servers. Okay. So I'm going to give the name of the demo. Server name is demo itself. Or let's take the Netflix application. Netflix. In the demos only, I'm going to show you how to deploy the application, sir. Guys, again, I'm telling, don't worry about the process. Why? Because this is new to you, okay? This process I'm going to show you on the Monday session for you. So let me connect to the server. How many layers we discussed now? What is the layer number one? Presentation layer, correct or not, sir? Okay. What is the purpose of presentation layer? To show the application. And in real time, who is going to work there? Front-end developers or UI UX developers. What they will do? Web technologies they will use, and example of web technologies will be HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now here what exactly I'm going to tell now is I'm going to show you the deployment of the web server as well as how to access the application. Okay. Just see the process. Sudo -i. Guys, don't worry about the process. I'm just showing the practical part. Okay. This process, everything I'm going to teach from the scratch itself. So now this is the server. For example, it is my web server. What it is? What is the purpose of web server? To show the application. And I said you one thing. What is the example for the web server? It is Apache. Are you seeing this one? Here my Apache service is running. What exactly I'll do now is I'll copy the public IP address of the server and I'll give the port number. Just hit enter. Are you able to see the Netflix application here? If I am seeing the application, means currently I'm on which server? Web server. Now open your mobiles, all of you. Open your mobiles and whatever you are seeing here, just type the same IP address. HTTP and all is not required. Just type the same IP address, what exactly you are seeing here. And online, even for you also, I'm gonna give you the same IP address. Just copy the IP address and check whether you are able to see it or not. It's 13.126.29.176, the IP address. You will get the same exact page what I am getting now. Are you getting? Yep. All and just confirm me once whether if you hit that button, like that URL, are you getting the same application or not? Are you getting? Yes. Sir, in the class only, I discussed about the presentation layer. Now have I shown you the demo of presentation layer or not, sir? What exactly we discussed here in this box or in this diagram? What exactly I said here? Same everything we have done practically. Now tell me how much of time we require to set up the web server. Just forget about server. That's script execution. Script execution taken only 20 seconds. How many seconds? That means 20 within the 20 seconds, you create the server, you install the Apache, you deployed the application, you are accessing the application or not, sir? Already I said here in the course, you are going to learn the automated scripts. These automated scripts will do the work very speedily. Now within the 20 minutes only, we just deployed the application. Correct or not? Like that. And again, one more thing also. After web server, we need to discuss about app server. What is the example of app server? Tomcat. Already we discussed about this one. Basically, how much time it required to set up Tomcat, sir? Huh? Basically, like if you ask ChatGPT will tell 15 to 30 minutes max. But in our class, how much time we are going to do it? 1 second. So now my question is, how many of you are going to believe this? Within 1 second, can you set up the Tomcat? Like I'm asking you the question, will you believe it or not? Within 1 second, is setting the Tomcat practically possible or not? Don't know. Okay, online, what about you? Wait, I'm getting some things here. Huh. It is possible for some and it is impossible. Okay, impossible. Now I guess. Okay. So just remember this one. It is impossible within 1 second, right? Just mark this one. Now I'm gonna show you how to set up the Tomcat within less than 1 second. Just let me go for the setups. Here I have something called as Tomcat. You can search here, okay? Are you seeing the script here? I don't do anything, just I'll copy the script here. Okay, I'm not gonna do anything here, just clear the screen. VIM tomcat.sh. Sir, now see sh tomcat.sh. I'm just going to write this one. Okay, how many seconds I said? Huh? 1 second, right? Wait. I need to modify this something. This first thing I need to modify. Wait. Yep. So now see within 1 second how the script will execute. Done. What you are seeing here? Tomcat got started. If you want me to show it practically also, again, sir, copy the public IP address and the port number of Tomcat is 8080. What is the Tomcat port number? Now lively you can see the Tomcat running. Is Tomcat running or not, sir? Tell me how many seconds we took? Just 1 second, correct or not? But if you go to any of the like Chat GPT or else like Google Bard or you can go for any of the website, the minimum time it will require is 10 minutes. How many minutes? But practically, I just shown you the Tomcat within 1 second. That means you can understand what level of automation you are going to learn here. In the day one itself, I said you one thing. If in real time, if you are doing a work in hours, here I'm going to teach you on minutes. Again, the same work if you are doing in minutes in real time, I'm going to teach you on seconds. Is it lively provable or not, sir? Online, now tell me, is it practically possible or not? I mean, like somebody said it is impossible. Now tell me, is it practically possible or not, guys? Yes. Not only this one, I can set up any of the application or any of the tool within seconds only. If you want me to show me one more demo, I'll show it one more demo also. Let's go for ChatGPT. I think all of you know ChatGPT, right? I'll go for ChatGPT and I'll ask ChatGPT. See this one, ChatGPT. I think in last class also I done the same thing here. In last class I asked the ChatGPT how much time required to set up Tomcat. It is telling that 15 minutes to an hour. How much time, sir? 15 minutes to hour. But how many seconds we took? 1 second. Let me go for this one. For example, same thing I'm asking one more time. Okay. How much time required to set up Prometheus? Which one? Prometheus is basically for monitoring purpose. Now see. Again, Prometheus also will take 15 to 30 minutes. Okay. If you go and see, it is telling that, and then it will tell, wait. Now you can see it might take anywhere from 30 minutes to few hours, but I am going to tell the same thing within 5 seconds. How many seconds? Prometheus setup will take only 5 seconds, but how much of time it is taking for ChatGPT? Let me show it practically. Again, if you go to my GitHub account, where is my GitHub? Yeah. Are you seeing Prometheus here? Prometheus. Just copy the script. Just copying the script here. VM Prometheus .sh. Sir, how much time I said, sir? Now that's done. Prometheus is set up now. If you want me to show, copy the public IP address, and Prometheus will have the port number. You can see it is running or not, sir. The port number of Prometheus will be 9090. Hit enter. Is Prometheus running or not, sir? How much time it took? 5 seconds or not? Like this, whatever the tools you're going to learn from my end, every tool I'm going to make it automate, and every tool I'm going to set up within seconds also. Okay. And if you go to any other place, nobody will teach you this much of advancement in the script. But here, completely I'm going to focus on the automation part. Which part? Remember, guys, DevOps means automation and automation means DevOps. If you don't know how to automate the things in DevOps, you won't get the job. That's for damn sure. I'll just explain this with a basic example. All of you watch cricket, right? So in cricket, we have 3 formats: Test, ODI, and T20. For example, if a batsman is having a strike rate of 70, is it acceptable in Test cricket? But if the same strike rate 70 is having on T20, is it acceptable? No, that means you need to improve the strike rate. Again, the batsman is same, but what you need to improve here? Here also, you are a DevOps engineer. Okay. If you take some hours to do the setup, companies are not going to accept. You need to bring that hours to minutes or seconds. Here, that is what exactly I'm going to teach you. This course will be 100% of automated course. Not only this one tool. In future, I'm going to tell you the Kubernetes setup, Docker setup, Ansible setup. How many tools we are going to learn in DevOps? That many tools you are going to learn automation only. With the help of a small script, you can do some wonders. Is the point clear for all of you? That's it. So now, before going for the doubts and queries, I would like to know one thing about the class today. So how's the class for all of you? If I ask something, like, you need to tell from the mouth. If you like shake your heads, now I'll not get the answer. Okay. Tell me, how's the class for all of you today? Is it clear for all of you? Great. Online from you. How's the class for all of you guys from the online? Can you confirm in chat box once? Yeah, so it was a good good response from all of you online. So thanks for the response. Yeah. So daily, what are the sessions you're gonna learn? The same way of teaching will be there. Like, teaching will be on like bi-directional. Look, it will be interactive teaching. So what are the topics I'm gonna teach you? For every 5 seconds, I'm gonna take response. For example, if I teach you a topic, okay, I won't go for the next topic directly. First of all, we will discuss about this topic and I'll ask you the queries. If you are having any queries, we will discuss on these topics. If the topic is very clear, then only I'm going to touch for the next. Okay, so the teaching will be completely live as well as interactive. Yep. Fine. And the session notes as well as session video will be shared to you. Don't worry. For example, if you want to get the recording video of the session, just ping to the admin. So your online admin will be the Praveen. He's on the class now. He'll give his number as well as details more. And the offline, you can go and ask to the Ajay. So we have an admin called Ajay. You can meet him on the ground floor. If you go to him and if you give the number, so those people are going to share the recording videos for you as well as course content also. How many of you got the course content? Last day, none of you? Okay, today just go and ask him. Okay, he's gonna send you the course content for you. Fine. So now we'll go for the doubts and queries part. So online, if you are having any doubts or any queries over today's session or like the course, just raise your hands. I'm gonna give unmute option for you to discuss the doubts. And in the meanwhile, first of all, offline, any queries from you before I go to online? No queries for today's class, huh? Okay, yeah, please. Yes, servers. In the server, you are installing the tools actually. This Prometheus is a tool, as well as Tomcat is an application server like that. Yes, those are called as services. Tomcat is an application server. Okay, you can call it as service, and this Prometheus is also going to be called as service. You will get to know what is the difference between tool as well as service in upcoming days. Fresher will get a job definitely, like Raju. Freshers will get the job. So in last class, I already shown you the like a practical proofs also, right? That lot of my students has taken the course here and they got the package of 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs and 6 lakhs also. So don't worry about the jobs, Raju. Naresh Shetty is going to provide the job for you also. Don't worry about this one. And fourth year architecture, I'm going to explain in the upcoming days. It's a part of your microservice. When the Docker comes, I'm going to explain what is the entire architecture. So now before I go for the doubts, so first of all, like let me tell you the course details one more time. So basically our course is DevOps with AWS, and the class we are going to have Linux is completely free of cost. Okay. So duration will be 2.5 months for this course. I mean, like it can take more also sometimes. Don't worry about it. Fees will be 10,000. Okay, for the classes. If you want recording videos, you will be paying 16,000. 6,000 additional for the recording videos. And coming to the timings, your class timing will be 6 to 7:30 p.m. Daily, 70 minutes will be the class as well as 20 minutes will be the interaction. Okay. At the last, before ending the session, I'm going to interact with all of you and I'm going to address all of your doubts and queries. And with this course, how much of experience you can put? In the last class also, I shown you like how my people put the experience and they went with the 3 years and 4 years of knowledge. And you can access the lab also from morning 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Whether if you are online or offline, you can access the lab. For online, we're gonna provide the Zoom link for the online people. From the Zoom link, you can join and you can discuss the doubts and queries with the mentors. And offline, so your lab will be opening from morning 8 a.m. to evening 7. But your class will be 6 to 7:30 now. So you can access the lab from morning 8 a.m. to evening 6 p.m. Okay. You will be having the mentors. While if you are practicing any doubts or any queries, what you will get, you can ask them for your resolution. Okay. And coming to the projects in this course, how much of project we're gonna do here? It's not one or two. Here I'm gonna tell you 5 real-time projects. 2 of them are monolithic project, 2 of them are microservice, and one is the infrastructure. And coming to the tools, in this course, how many tools we're gonna learn? 18 tools. So this is the complete information about the our course information. Okay. And if you want the course syllabus, please ping to the admin. So online you can get the number of the Praveen from there. So you can ping him and he's gonna send the course content. And even offline also, please go to our admin college. He's gonna give you the syllabus copy. Okay, you can take it from there. In the downside, you can see the QR code. If you scan that QR code directly, you can get the syllabus copy itself. Okay, so now I'll be going with the online doubts and queries for some time. So first of all, Deepak, you can speak. Deepak, I gave one minute option for you. And online, like offline, please listen to these queries. Why? Because these queries might be helpful for you. Okay, Deepak, you can speak now. Okay, next, Raju, you can speak, Raju. Guys, you can click on unmute option there. I have given the permission to speak. Okay, I'm gonna lower the hand of you. Fine. So next, Rahman, you can speak. Rahman Shah.
Hello, thank you, Ram sir, for giving times.
Yeah. Tell me, Rahman.
Uh,
Good evening.
Actually, I saw the yesterday's list you Excel sheets you generated, and okay, and this that Excel sheet contained the syllabus of DevOps, right?
Yes, exactly. You can get
I
the day-to-day syllabus actually. At what day, what topic you're gonna learn. Complete information is furnished there, Rahman.
Ram sir, actually, but I saw the Splunk and EC2 Splunk and Elasticsearch is not part of the DevOps course. Why I'm
No, no.
for
So
curious.
instead of Splunk and Elasticsearch, you're gonna learn Prometheus. So this Prometheus will be the alternative for Splunk as well as your Elasticsearch. Okay.
Okay, okay, in promotions. Okay,
Yeah.
so that was I didn't saw that, so that's why I need
Okay, okay, it's fine. I
that
already
I
said
need.
it. So for each and every stage, we need to learn only one tool. Alternate tools is not required. Any one tool per each stage in the DevOps we need to learn.
So after the means due to the that course, will we cover the particular the major project also, no? On the
Yes, yes,
DevOps.
exactly.
Yes, yes. Thanks,
Yep.
thanks, Ram sir. Thanks for your
Thank you.
time.
So like Padmavati, you need to come to like Amirpet here. So this class is not from KPHP for the offline. So this is the offline class from the Amirpet itself. Hope it is clear. So next, Jay Chauhan, you can speak. Chauhan, are you there? Okay. So next, Nagendra Babu, you can speak now. Guys, you have the option to unmute. I'm giving the option to unmute. You can unmute and speak. Hello,
Hello,
Nagendra. Yeah.
sir.
Good evening.
Could you able to listen, sir?
Yeah, I can able to listen you. Please go ahead.
Sir, today only I've joined demo, and
Okay.
I have almost 6.2 years experience in non-IT mechanical engineering field.
Okay.
So if I do this course, I mean, can I get job, sir?
Definitely, Nagendra. Basically, that 6.2 years of experience, whatever you are having the mechanical background, you need to convert into IT. Okay. I'll guide you how to switch your career from non-IT to IT. Okay.
Yeah,
Don't
because
worry about the job. First of all, I'll tell you one thing. Lot
yes, sir.
of like a majority of the people you came here for to get the job only.
Yes,
But
sir.
before thinking about the job, I'll tell you one thing. Forget about the job. First of all, try to think how to improve your technical skills. If you
Okay,
are
okay,
definitely good at technical skills, definitely you can get the job. Might not for 1 month, it might be 2 or 3 or 4 months. But at the end of the day, if you are good at technical as well as
yes, sir.
communication, okay, these two
Yes, sir.
skills are required to get the job and you can ace the job very, very easily. But I'm telling you, a lot of people will have in their mind, I need to get the job, I need to get the job. If you
Yes,
keep thinking about the job, you will not get the job. You need to think about how to improve your skills. So
okay, okay,
Nagendra, in your case, I'm gonna teach you like how to convert your non-IT experience into IT experience. Okay, I'll guide you through it.
okay, okay, sir.
Yep. Thank
And
you.
sir, is this demonstration started today only, or
No,
what?
no. In last day we have one theoretical demo that is completely theoretical part. You can get the recording from the online admin. Okay, please ping to the Praveen. You can see in the chat box. He gave his number, right? You can
Oh,
ping
yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
ping to
Okay,
him
okay,
directly.
sir.
Yep.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Definitely. You can get the good package. Don't worry about it. Okay. Again, I said, no, if you are skilled enough, the packages are nothing. Okay. Even if you're a software developer or tester, it is completely fine. Apart from Maven, can you explain a bit around the Build.NET and Node.js? I'm gonna give you the like a slight overview about Node.js, like npm package manager. Yuvraj, hope it is clear. I assume you will cover Tomcat web server also. Definitely, without Tomcat web server, like we cannot do any project, right? So I'm gonna cover the Apache web server as well as Tomcat application server also. Hope it is clear. And coming to the online, if you're stuck anywhere on the practice, we are going to send the Zoom link for you. If you join on that Zoom link, our mentors will be there and they are going to help you to resolve your issues. Hope it is clear for you, Sachin. Yes, yes, I'll explain. So Vinay, as of now, it is demo, right? So just copy pasted. Why? Because if I explain the shell script on demo, you are not able to get it. Okay. So in the upcoming days, I'm going to teach you how to write your own scripts to automate the entire workflow. Hope it is clear for you, Vinay. Yep. So next year, Madhu Raja, you can speak, Madhu.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, Madhu.
Yeah, actually, my doubt is like I'm having 4 years of experience in Java
Okay.
from 2008 to 12, and
Okay.
after that, I'm been doing some testing for my US. I'm been supporting for my friends like testing, like freelancing testing
Okay.
and Jira admin. Presently, I'm doing that. So
Okay.
I got a gap of like due to the COVID and all and that, I got a gap of like 12 years like that in
How
between.
many years? How many years
So
it is?
12.
12
Like I'm
years.
being yeah, in between from 2012 to now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm been doing freelancing like gigs and all and that, like some of like my testing I'm been doing like there would be like I mean supporting from my friends like in US like.
Okay.
So what I forgot the like part of like to be like make it happen like I want to make alignment here or like all my past record like in between the 12 years. So now I am been like keen into the Jira. So
Okay.
I thought of taking Jira, but one of my friend told like DevOps would be fine. Why don't you listen and learn that? That would be
Yeah. Yep.
the other part of like after Jira that would be the a little bit of scale DevOps. So I've been connected all the dots. Like maybe like I know that Java like where is the
Yeah,
Jira
like
file and all
the
that.
developing
The
part,
all,
the testing part,
uh,
the like ticketing administrator part. So
yeah,
like
yeah.
everything. Yeah. Yep.
So, but I want to make it a label of it, like not just like all the part, but I want to make it. I don't want to wander around now to change it. So I just want to now stick on to the DevOps. So what would be like yesterday I have been listening your class also. So
Okay.
you just told that 3 to 4 years of it. So
Yes.
what you need to do, like whether to uh, it would be a best option for me to move, or like what would be I should carry on with my
Definitely.
freelancing
Yeah, I got
freelancing.
your question, Madhu. So what I suggest is you need to move now. If you can't move now, like you cannot move further. Why? Because see, even though if you
Yeah,
have 12 years of year gap, like what you are saying is you have some freelancing experience. Okay, you can tell them.
yeah,
So in the middle, like I have some freelancing experience. So I have done all of this now. So from the past so and so like 3 to 4 years, I have been the DevOps team. So like I worked on DevOps. I know about these and these tools. I worked on so and so projects. You can tell them and you can show your like skills how exactly you worked in the real time. Okay, but I won't
yeah.
suggest to go with the 12 years of experience. If you have 12 years of year gap, you cannot go. What I'll suggest is three to
Yeah,
four will
I
be
thought
enough.
of like I thought of like keep dividing that 10 to like half by half, like four and three, 6 or 4, like Jira, and after that DevOps. So I'm asking you, is this the best solution, or like to go ahead, or like in the meantime of the completing of the course, like that would be like you will be guiding or somewhat like what is the best option for me to follow.
So I'll tell you one thing. First of all, like keep focus on the single course, like Madhu, until it is done. Okay, why? Because in this course, yeah, you'll be getting both Linux and AWS also, na. So what
Yeah,
major people will do is like they will try to take parallel courses. So that is gonna
and
be complete mess up actually. I won't suggest that one.
yeah, I just heard about like saying like Azure would be better, or like is it like the Europe market is concentrating on Azure, or like what? I
It's
just
not
like
like that. It's not like that. See, we have good opportunities on both AWS as well as Azure. But the market, if you go and research, market will be always demanding for AWS only.
yeah,
Why? Because the
okay.
market share itself is like we are having 1/3, right, for AWS, but whereas Azure is having only 20%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine, fine. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thank you, Madhu. And one more thing I'm telling for all of you is don't confuse between AWS and Azure. Okay. Both clouds are good clouds. But whenever if you want to choose AWS or Azure, so AWS will be having the 34% of the market share, but whereas Azure will be 20% only. Okay. Majority of the chances you'll be getting for AWS itself when you compare with Azure. Next, Abu, you can speak Abu. Abu Firas Khan.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Ram sir, I just wanted to know one thing. Like I'm having around 9+ years of experience in
Okay.
testing. So I can show like 3 years in DevOps, but just wanted to know like how I will show the project like for the DevOps
Don't
thing.
worry. Here I'm going to teach you the end-to-end project. Now, if you understand that project, if you do that project on your own hands, so that will be enough for you. So at the end of the course, I'm going to teach you like how to explain the project and how to answer the interview questions. Everything I'm going to take care. But the
So
only
that I
I'm
can mention in
expecting
the
from your
resume,
end is
right?
some dedication. If you come to class daily, if you practice daily, that will be enough. Like Abu, I can say.
Okay, so that I can mention in the resume that this is the project
Yes,
that I
yes.
have done in the
I'll just give the
previous.
resume template also. I just give the resume template, your roles and responsibilities, your project information, everything I'll just give. You will practice here on the class, and if you got the clarity, then you can explain the same thing on the interview also. Okay.
Okay, no, okay.
Yep.
Actually, last year I came to Hyderabad just for this course,
Oh, okay.
because work from home was there. So I thought of coming there and doing, but your class was not started at that particular time.
Oh, okay, okay.
And
Yeah.
my timing was not matched actually because I was doing the night shift and your batch was like around in the morning, I think. So
Yeah, I have
I
the batch
didn't
on like around morning shift only. Yeah.
correct. So one more thing, like today that you showed us like for that scripting and also, are we going to learn those scripts
Yes, yes.
writing?
I'm gonna teach you, Abu. Don't worry about the scripting
Uh,
part. Okay.
okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, guys. So that's it for the demo for day 2. And the next class will be on Monday directly. Basically, we have the classes from Monday to Saturday, but for the first week of demo, we don't have the class for Saturday. So following by the next week, your class will don't have the class. Okay. So in Monday session, I'm gonna show you how to create the server and how to deploy another application. Here we deployed which application now? Netflix. In tomorrow's class, that means in Monday's class, I'm gonna show you how to deploy the Swiggy application. I think all of you know about Swiggy, right? Yes. So like I hope like the session was clear for all of you. So let's meet on Monday session with some new topic. Have a great day. Bye all. Thank you.